I had to start my personal brand completely from scratch, there's one thing that I would do differently. Most people start with content, which is great. That's what I started with. I think that if you get the hang of it, you get better over time, and then you're solid. And honestly, if I did this one thing earlier, I would have been a lot further than I am right now. And I'll tell you exactly what that one thing is at the end of this video, or you can skip all the way until the end to see what it is. I'm gonna walk you through in 5 steps how I would rebuild my personal brand if I had to start from zero. I built a personal brand on YouTube that has over 17,000 subscribers, and I also built a personal brand on Instagram that has over 28,000 followers. I feel like I've done a decent amount of personal branding, but I'm telling you that this one skill would have completely 10x my growth if I had learned it faster. Step 1, I'd focus on learning communication skills. I would put myself in so many different scenarios that I would be able to just become a better communicator, become better at talking to my friends, to my family, to strangers. I would go out and be a little bit more extroverted because I would understand that like the skills that I'm learning in communication when I'm out in public would have a direct correlation on the skills that I have when I come to talk to you on the camera. That's a big thing because before I even got onto the camera, I would want to be very, very skilled at speaking to the camera, which is a very important skill. It's what a lot of businesses want to see when you're working with them for brand deals. It's what a lot of people want to see if you're going to work with them as a coach. People want to see that you can talk to them and you can speak behind a camera because it's a weird thing. It's a hard skill to learn, but over time you get better at it. And I think communication in public and when you're going out and about is a big thing that you just have to get good at, especially if you want to build a personal brand. And this actually connects to the one thing that I said at the beginning of the video that I'm going to reveal at the end. Number 2, I would understand the type of brand that I'm trying to build. Have the end in mind, pretty much. I believe that there's at least 3 different tiers of the type of personal brand that you can grow. Number 1, you can build a micro personal brand. This is like the 10K to 100K follower range. At this point, people would know you for one specific thing only because you're not a celebrity, you're not super famous, but people know you. And this is a stage where you can monetize very easily as well. You might not be getting like $100,000 brand deals from Nike, but you might be able to make $100,000 with a coaching offer. You might be able to launch a digital product. You might be able to launch a business, and you can work within your personal brand and you can work with different companies and everything and collaborate with other people. And this is a very good range to stay in because you're not a celebrity. That's what I call a micro personal brand. If you want to grow into the second realm of personal branding, which I call the macro personal brand, which is the 100,000 follower to 500,000 follower range. Now people are starting to know you. People can recognize you on the street. You're going to get bigger brand deals. You're going to be able to build your business easier. You can maybe build different types of businesses and stuff. And then as your audience gets bigger past the 500,000 follower range, once you start hitting 1 million followers, once you start getting to that bigger personal brand and you have that influence and you have that kind of power, that's when you start to tap into like the celebrity status, which is what I call the super personal brand. When you have exceeded 500,000 followers, at this point, big brand deals, big companies, $100,000 brand deals, you're gonna get it left and right. People want you to be in their videos. People want you to work with them, and you gotta be very selective because it depends on how you wanna go about doing that. The bigger your brand gets, the more that you can share your lifestyle, you can make vlogs, you can share all sorts of type of stuff, right? But when you're at a micro personal brand, people know you kind of for one thing. And that's something that I would do again. I would start focusing on sharing one thing because people want to know you for one thing. Once you're known for one specific thing and you do it very well, then you can expand out as your brand grows and you can be known for more things. And eventually you're just gonna be known for your name. That's the ultimate goal with personal branding, to have that influence that your name is so powerful that anyone will follow whatever it is that you say. That's the power of personal branding. And you can get that at any kind of level, at the micro level, at the macro level, at the super personal brand level. Number 3, I would build a personal brand around solving a problem. There are people out there who are just influencers and make brand deals and stuff. But if you want to go into the consulting realm, if you want to basically become a teacher, that's where you're going to be able to ultimately make a lot of money, just because there are a lot of brands who will pay you to teach people. And a lot of people go to the internet to learn things, right? There's a big percentage of social media that goes to social media just to learn things. So if you can become a part of that percentage, and if you can become a part of the top percentage of like make money online, I would keep those things in mind because I would understand like what is the demand that people go to the internet to know. People want to make money. That's a big desire. So I would learn a skill that I can, kind of monetize in a way that allows me to make money, and then I would teach it to people. And that's basically what I've done. In all honesty, I have built a personal brand that helps other people build personal brands, if that makes sense. Like with this video, you're trying to learn how to build your personal brand. That's why you're watching this video. That's what I've done. I took a valuable skill, I learned it, and I'm teaching it. That's my niche. Number 4, I would practice by producing. I would have just started posting a lot sooner, and I know it's kind of contradictory to what I said at the beginning because I wanted to learn communication skills, but while I was learning communication skills and going and putting myself out there, speaking to more people, talking to strangers on the street, because I live in a pretty safe place, I guess, in Canada, I would have definitely started just documenting the journey, just posting whatever, just to get the hang of getting better at making videos and getting better at making content. You know, you can't just make one video and expect it to blow up overnight. You got to get good at making content. It's not the algorithm, it's you. Just get better at one thing every single video, whether it's the hook, whether it's the pacing, whether it's the music, whether it's the editing, whatever it is. I would start with YouTube videos and Instagram Reels. I did start my YouTube channel earlier, but I would also have started making Instagram Reels because honestly, that is where a lot of the monetization has come from. I would argue that if you want to make some fast money quick and get some brand deals, you can blow up on Instagram and get authority, and then you can reach out to different brands and start working with them and start getting paid pretty nicely. But I would have started posting a lot earlier just because like when you get the momentum, when you get the ball rolling, eventually as you're building those communication skills, as you're getting better at talking to people, as you're getting better at communicating, you're going to ultimately get really, really good at just being on camera and combining all those skills. The more content that you can create, the more content that you make, eventually over time, compound interest, right? You're just gonna get better and better. I wouldn't really care what it looked like. I would have just started earlier in making content, because if you start earlier, you're gonna have more videos out there, more videos to consume, more people can see your videos, more views, more followers, more reach, more authority, and more influence. And number 5, the number one thing that I would have done before I even started my personal brand was skill stacking, and specifically talking about stacking my skills in sales. I would have found a sales job. I would have tried to find some kind of job that makes me do sales, whether it's like on the phone, like doing cold calling, doing some kind of skill where I have to speak to people, even door-to-door sales. At the beginning of the year, I started doing a recruiting job. I learned a lot of sales skills. I learned how to do appointment setting and sales closing and stuff. And this is one of the main things that allowed me to monetize my brand, allowed me to become a better communicator, allowed me to talk to different business people in professional language. That's the number one thing that I would have learned. And stacking up all my skills with content creation, with being on camera, with communication and sales, I would have been able to monetize any kind of niche. I could probably look at any niche right now with that skill stack and monetize it and build something with it if I just learn the skill that I'm trying to teach people. So that's the number one thing. Don't get me wrong, I'm very grateful for what I've built. I've come a long way. I'm 22 years old. I'm really proud of where I've come. I'm just grateful that I'm this young and being able to do what I do. I'm very happy with everything, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for me and what the future holds for you as well. Comment down below where you're at in your personal brand right now. Hit me up on Instagram. Maybe we can share some advice. And as always, if you're looking to scale your personal brand quicker and you want to work with me one-on-one and have some actual consulting and implementation, there's a link down below. Make sure you watch the video and follow the next steps. But at the end of the day, let me know if this information was helpful or if it wasn't. But either way, thank you for watching. Stay locked in, my friend.